Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I've been infilling my nails with builder gel for the last year roughly. You'll see how I'm also fixing a nail that has a little bit of a break in it. You'll see that I'm starting off with this cute little set. This was inspired by this YouTube channel called Lofi Aesthetic. They play like 24-hour streams of lo-fi music, and they have these cute animations on the screen as they play. So I decided to do a little nail art. It was my first time really doing like a character set like that, and it was hard. It took a long time. I did try to record it, but I have no idea how I would edit and present that in a video. Also, if you've been here before, you'll probably notice that my voice sounds a little different, and it's because I just can't seem to stop being sick. But I wanted to get this video out anyway, and, you know, we'll just memorialize, I don't know. We're going to have a video of me having my raspy voice on this channel. So, yeah, here we go. You'll see that I'm starting off with a carbide bit. And I apologize for the shakiness of the video. It does stop, but it's because I knocked the tripod. But yes, I'm starting off with a carbide bit. It's a very chunky bit. It takes off a lot of product at once. And I actually got a new e-file, and I will say that it is such a game changer. I have this in regular time, real time, so you can see how quickly the removal is going. And I do have one other video of removal on my channel, and it took a very long time, and it's because I was using a really pretty much like the lowest quality e-file out there that I know of. So yeah, just know that if you're kind of starting out and you've gotten some tools that are not necessarily top of the line and you're struggling a little bit, or you're finding that it's taking a lot longer, there's a reason, and that's okay. That's okay. It's just like about kind of tempering your expectations, I think. But yes, I have started to speed this up now after the first nail. But you'll see that I'm just removing the top layer of gel. And I'm also removing kind of the bulk, anywhere where there is a bit of bulk of gel, like the apex, which will have grown out. By this point, I'm just going ahead and sort of filing everything down, but leaving a decent amount of gel on my nails. And at this point, I'm also checking for any lifting, which I didn't really have. I did have a couple of cracks in my nails, which is newer for me. I think this is because I'm starting to grow these out more and wear them longer than I ever have before. But yes, once I've gotten as much off as I feel comfortable with that chunkier bit, now I'm just taking a hand file, and I think a lot of people would just use a different e-file bit at this point. But sometimes when I'm like, I need a second to assess the situation, I go back to the hand file because it's where I'm, I guess, most comfortable. And so I did a little bit of hand filing just to even out that base layer of gel, and also to get a little bit of the gel that's left around the perimeter of the nail. That can be the hardest to get off, and honestly, I have not perfected getting it off. If you have tips for that, getting off the little bits of gel right around the edges of where your manicure started, without doing too much overfiling of the natural nail, let me know. So now I'm taking a pretty soft bit. This is a fine bit, so it's not going to be doing too much on the natural nail. I'm not focusing on buffing the natural nail here. I'm still trying to get that last bit of colored polish off of the nail. And also sometimes, like if I do have lifting, it is more often around the top. So if there is any little bit of lifting, it's usually going to be around those top edges. So I'm also kind of just making sure that the gel that's on the nail is flush with the natural nail, and that I'm getting rid of any first signs of lifting. I'm doing this at a slow RPM. I don't remember exactly what, and honestly, this e-file doesn't have numbers, but just know that this is sped up, so it probably looks more aggressive than it is, but I'm using a low speed on the e-file, and I'm really not trying to touch the nail too much at all. And another thing is, if you know that you're going to be using a dark color or something, I guess you don't have to be too careful about getting every little speck of color off. That challenges me a little bit because it's my like natural desire to like perfect. But yeah, I don't think you want to overdo it with filing your natural nails. So now I'm taking a cuticle pusher, and this is where I basically start to do the little bit of like manicuring work that I do. So I'm taking the cuticle pusher, and again, not using a ton of pressure. I think probably a lot of us know that the matrix of the nail, which is where the nail starts to form, is right past where your eponychium or your cuticle is, and underneath of the skin there. So you want to be gentle as you're working up closer to the cuticle area. I'll just call it cuticle area, because yeah, if you're using too much pressure, you can damage your nails. Anyway, so now I am taking a flame bit. I believe that's what that's called. And again, not on a super high RPM. I'm just going around, and I'm also not like pushing into the cuticle too much. I'm just sort of getting any type of dead skin around the perimeter of the nail off. And I should say at this point, in case you didn't know this, I'm not a professional nail tech, and I'm also not like a professional e-filer. There are a lot of people on the internet or on YouTube who have taken more extensive e-filing courses. Nails by Katie Dutra is someone who comes to mind right away for me. So I would definitely recommend watching their videos on this. I believe the Nail Hub has some too. So I'm basically just like a bozo on the internet with an e-file. So if you are considering starting e-filing, I really think you should be doing a lot of research if you're doing kind of more of the Russian manicure technique. I have watched a lot of videos, and I am careful, so I'm not completely a bozo with an e-file, but you know, this is just to say, I think do research before you do this. I will say, when I was e-filing my nails initially, I did overdo it, and I took a little break because I just wanted to grow my nails out. And yeah, it took a second to get used to how much pressure you should be using and that sort of thing. So yeah, just taking note of that. And all of that said, I'm not going to do a ton of like tutorial on what I'm doing here, because I think for more detail, it makes sense to go watch some videos by people who have done this for a long time, or who have more succinct things to say about this. What a glowing review for my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Anyway, I'm taking this this brush here, and I'm kind of just getting off any of the dust that's there. And now I'm taking this little pusher tool, and I'm kind of just scooping out sometimes, like, you know, your sidewalls and your cuticle area, your eponychium likes to hide little bits of dust. So I'm sort of just lightly scooping those out, again, using like no pressure at all. And yeah, you'll see here, ouch, what's that? It's a little crack in my nail. Again, I'm pretty new to having cracks in my nails. I can't think of a time where I've had one before, actually. So this is kind of an experiment, but I've taken some polygel, which I really haven't worked with much. And because that's a little bit stronger than the luminary gel that I use, I wanted to, have a little bit more support in that very delicate area. That's like the stress area from everything I've read, that it's that area right where the free edge starts, and specifically on the sides there. That tends to be where a lot of the pressure ends up being placed on the nail, and so that's where cracks can start. So I'm just taking some polygel, and applying it right in that area just to get a little bit more strength. And now I'm taking some nail cleanser and I'm wiping off the sticky layer, the uncured polygel on top there. And then I'm filing, and I'm making sure not to over file what I've just done, because obviously the reason I put gel there, or polygel, is because I wanted more strength, but it is a little like bulbous and not quite the right shape. So I did just go back and finish file that area a bit, making sure not to take away all the strength that I just added. And I think you can see in this clip, I also have a small crack in the thumbnail. So I did do this same fix on the thumb, but I didn't include it because it's, essentially the same thing. And yeah, like I said, I haven't really had my nails this long. I think that luminary is great for overlays, but it's not meant for like extensions. And so I'm guessing that, the longer your nails get, the less it makes sense to just have luminary alone on your nails. I'm going through and doing some shaping on the rest of the nails. And honestly, I'm not super confident in my shaping yet. So I'm not sure I have much to say about that would be helpful, but I'm going for kind of an almond or round shape. What do you think this is? Is this almond or round? I'm not quite sure. Basically, I'm just trying to get even and straight nails that are, roughly the same length. And that's about the extent of my knowledge on shaping. I'm also careful not to overfile the sidewalls. That's something that I'm still trying to figure out, though. Now I'm taking some nail cleanser, and I am once again kind of doing like the last super cleanse and dehydrate of the nail plate, because we're getting ready to apply the builder gel. I'm also using this dehydrator. I think this is kind of a redundant step, but I like that the brush, because this is basically just alcohol in this bottle, if I'm not mistaken. I like that the brush can kind of scrub into the sidewalls and stuff to really make sure that we're dehydrating the nail. And then I'm taking nail primer as well. Also, something interesting that I learned is that the nail stays dehydrated for okay, maybe I should have looked this up before I'm saying anything about it, but it doesn't stay dehydrated forever. That alcohol slowly evaporates off. So even if you've cleansed and dehydrated the nail earlier in the service, you want to do it right before you apply your product as well. But yes, I put my protein bond on there, let that dry down a little bit, and then I am taking this luminary gel. I am going to be using another type of gel soon. I think once I'm out of the luminary gel that I have, I want to try the Nail Thoughts gel, or if anyone has other gels that are comparable to luminary, let me know. I love luminary gel, but I'm not sure how I purchased it, but it's supposed to be professional only. So I feel weird using it on YouTube, I guess. But anyway, I'm taking the luminary gel and I'm kind of scrubbing it into my nail. And that scrubbing motion is to really make sure that the gel is kind of getting into all the little ridges and whatever texture that the nail bed has. And then I'm taking basically a big dollop, as much as I can get on the brush, which is actually not that much. But I'm taking a big dollop and sort of just patting it onto the nail. I think my technique mostly comes from Nails by Katie Dutra. Again, I've watched videos from her about how to apply builder gel. And yeah, I don't think I have it down in like the most aesthetic sense of how to just seamlessly pat builder gel over the nail. But I will say, I think this is a really forgiving process. For the most part, I think the gel does the work for you, especially that slip layer. Once you put that down, the gel just follows where you put that down. So that second part where you're patting it in, you pat it in, but you don't have to be too careful about making sure you get every little spot, because the slip layer is there to help guide the gel to where you want it. And then you flip your nail upside down like I'm doing here. And that is using gravity to help pull the gel toward the center of the nail where you want the apex to be. So you want to build strength kind of in the center of the nail. And not have too much bulk on the sides of the nail. So that's the purpose of putting your finger upside down. And you'll see that I'm just kind of going back and forth, checking to see how it's doing. I did leave this thumb in real time, again, so that you can see how long this process actually takes. But the rest of them I'll speed through. And I'm taking a brush. Honestly, I would have preferred a longer striping brush, but I forgot to grab one before I started, and this was just what was near me. And I'm just using that brush to sort of help the gel to pool in the center where I want it to a little bit faster. So it looks like I was happy with this shape here. So I flash cured for about 20 seconds. I do think you don't want to flash cure for like 5 seconds in my experience. You want to give it enough of a cure that it's pretty solid, because it can wrinkle if you're flash curing for too short of a time. I'm repeating this process on the rest of the nails. You'll see that there I sort of put the brush upside down a little, not upside down. I tilted it downward to get the bead of product to pool at the end of the brush. I know that this specific brand, Luminary, sells like pots as well, so that you can grab bigger beads than you would be able to out of just the bottle. That makes a lot of sense, to hold your product in a pot and be able to like scoop out more, I think. So something to consider. I would say, like, I really do think, obviously I've been doing this for like a year now, so I've learned a lot. But to me, this process is very like seamless. A lot of the work is done by the formulation of the products, in my experience. And I am excited to try other types of gel too, just to see if that's something that's specific to Luminary or if it's just builder gel. But I think it's mostly just builder gel. I do think that the process is not too difficult, in my opinion. Also, I am going to try acrylic soon, and I'm so excited. I'm very curious to see how it will go. Because to me, that looks a lot harder, but I know a lot of people prefer acrylic over gel for strength, for extensions, overlays, whatever. All right, so we're just finishing up with the pinky. Thank you so much if you're watching this. I hope that my raspy voice hasn't been too much. I should just note that at the end there, I did make sure to do a full cure on all the nails, just to make sure that everything is fully cured. And now I'm taking a file and I'm just doing some finish filing, making sure not to file off that apex or the thicker spot in the middle of the nail that I've created. But yeah, making sure that it's smooth and even. You'll see there that I'm checking. You can see when you look down kind of the barrel of the nail, I guess. I don't know how to explain that other than that way, but that you can see you're looking for that sort of shape where there's some thickness at the center and then it tapers into, I think I've heard that it should be like the width of a credit card at the edge of your nail. But yes, I'm just going ahead and finish filing. Again, not necessarily the best at this, but I am trying. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope that my raspy voice hasn't been too distracting. And I hope this was helpful. This is a process that I repeat every time, basically every 2 to 4 weeks, I guess. So if there is something that you'd like to see more in depth, or, if you'd like to see this again, let me know. It is something I'm constantly doing. But usually in my videos, I just focus on kind of the nail art. So yeah, if you want to see more of this part of the nails, let me know. I'm not a nail tech, so sometimes I feel like maybe you don't want to see little old me doing my nails like this. But yeah, thank you again for watching. This is the point, by the way, when this is done, where I would apply a base coat, color, top coat, etc. So you're seeing my nails kind of up to that point. Like, comment, and subscribe. I hope to see you again in the future. Thank you again. and have a great day.